Stopping into another stream. Obviously, you see, I have my brother who's a Bengals fan. We haven't really been on speaking terms this week because, both our teams are in the Super Bowl. But we're going to be talking about it today. I'm just going to ask him questions from a Bengals fan perspective. And, it's going to be a fun one. But, Johnny, what are your initial thoughts going into this game? Obviously, having to play Aaron Donald and Von Miller and all these stars. What are your thoughts? Because the Bengals have had a pretty cool season.
Yeah, I really like what the Bengals have done this season. I honestly didn't think they would make it to the Super Bowl at the beginning. And then just seeing them win each playoff game one after another. It's been really, really cool because I didn't think they'd even get it this far, to be honest. But I'm I'm growing confidence in my team because they've been making it that far. But the Rams are scaring me, especially with their defense. That's been a highlight that a lot of people have been talking about. Mm-hmm. And it's scary because I love Burrow, obviously.
Yeah.
My only jersey I own is a Burrow one because I love him so.
Yeah, I think for me, we've talked about this throughout the week, but this is a really likable matchup. Usually there's one team that you just don't like being in it, or one team that always makes it, but it's been a while for both of us, and I think it's going to be a really likable Super Bowl happening. For me, I feel like the Aaron Donald and the whole pressure thing is being overblown, and that we're just going to completely destroy you guys because the pressure. Because, for me, I think if you're a coach, you have to, think you have 2 weeks to prepare, and you know that, if the fans know it's going to be a bunch of pass rush coming in and the Bengals don't have a good offensive line, they're going to be playing against that.
Yeah.
What are your initial thoughts going into it? Obviously, knowing the Bengals don't have the best offensive line and having to play all these superstars that we have, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, my main worries are the offensive line for us because they've been horrible, obviously, but sometimes they show up and sometimes they don't. And so I just really hope it's the day that they actually show up a little bit and try to protect, because anytime Burrow has more than 3 seconds or more, he seems to do stuff with it. Mm-hmm. And this offense can really get rolling if they have time, but it's just the Rams are super aggressive, and that's what a lot of what they're known for is their defense. So it's definitely scary. I just think if our offensive line shows up even a little bit, we'll have a lot better of a chance.
Yeah, for me, I've talked about this throughout the week, I think the Bengals' plan is obviously they want to get it into Jamar Chase's hands.
Yep.
And they're not worried about that. I think Burrow's going to test Ramsey a few times, which will be fun to watch. But I think they're going to be trying to get it into Chase's hands a little bit on some screens. I think they're going to be getting different receivers, different players involved on the screens or quick passes so that they can kind of wear us out and the pass rush isn't a factor. And then eventually, as we start to get tired out, I think they're going to open it up a little bit more. Yeah. So I am worried. Obviously, Zach Taylor knows us. He worked on the staff with us. He knows what we do, but it's a very different team since he was here. So it's going to be a really interesting matchup. Tell me what you think about the Jamar Chase and Jalen Ramsey matchup. I know it's not going to be throughout the whole game that's going to be happening, but just going into it, I don't think the Bengals have ever played Jalen Ramsey since he's been on the Rams. So what are your thoughts about that?
I think it's super exciting because they're both very vocal. And they both get really chippy a lot, and that's something that kind of worries me about Jamar is sometimes I think he focuses more on smack talk than he does on the game. Mm-hmm. But Jalen and him would just go at it. So I think there honestly could be some physicality in terms of maybe late penalty flags if they're taunting towards each other, because that could be really fun though to see if nobody gets ejected. But I think it does worry me that Jalen can take away, Chase as a weapon, or maybe force a pick or an incompletion that could lead to a pick. But it's gonna be, honestly, I think it's gonna be really fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about myself with the amount of guys that you have on there, and I think Burrow just is really good at spreading the ball around. He obviously has his favorite targets like Chase, but I think he's really good at distributing it to everybody. Yeah. And that's where I'm kind of worried because Darius Williams, he hasn't had as good of a season as last season, and he's just kind of given up plays here and there. He has his good games, but I'm kind of worried about T. Higgins because of the height mismatch. And he can just go up and grab the ball. Tyler Boyd, he doesn't really get talked about a lot, but he's a good weapon for them. And then who knows if Uzama's going to go or not. But for me, I'm just worried about the corners behind Jalen Ramsey, hoping they can step up because we all know that the star players are going to show up and they're going to have a good game and everything like that. But it's really about the players behind them that I'm looking at. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, I think I also heard Uzama had I think an MCL sprain. Ooh. So he's a 99% chance not playing. I would highly doubt if he was going to get in. So he's not a factor. Was it Drew Sample? Yeah. Which he did not really play super well last game. But I think with more reps, because he got in when Uzama just got injured, so they weren't preparing for that. Yeah. But I know what you mean with them spreading the ball around and being able to like dish it out anywhere they can. I also just do think that the Rams have a more solid defense than the Bengals do. So it's gonna be really interesting because we can do the short plays, but we normally don't. Like we do if we have to, but we also try to push it down the field. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun one to watch. And then talking about the offense and the defense, who on the offense and who on the defense are you most worried about as far as like the biggest threats? And then as far as like who on the offense and the defense do you think is like the most underrated player that you're worried about, or who you think could have a big game?
For like both teams, I'm guessing.
No, just for the Rams to start, and I'll tell you the ones I'm thinking about with the Bengals.
Okay, so for the Rams on defense, it's either got to be Ramsey, because he can just take away anybody.
Yeah.
It would probably be Ramsey, and I'm afraid of his picks. Oh my gosh, I'm so scared about that. And also probably Donald or Von Miller. Like, just the pass rushes that can get to Burrow, make him really confused, make him throw a bad one. So those are the people I'm worried about on defense.
Okay.
Just play well pretty much every single game. And then on offense, what I'm most worried about is definitely Cooper Kupp. So Cam Akers is good because like our run defense isn't very good, and I can see him having a huge game. But Cooper Kupp is just so consistent. He had 140 plus yards in the last 2 games that he played, and I'm just super worried because our corners are like getting good-ish, but Cooper Kupp is just another level that I'm just like super scared about.
Yeah, I think for me, like I'm excited to see what Cooper Kupp can do. Obviously. Yeah. I feel like the Bengals will have a plan to try to take him away and like maybe double him, who knows, but we've seen that doesn't really work, and so that's going to be a really fun thing to watch. For me, I'm obviously worried about Trey Hendrickson on the edge because obviously Whitworth is going to play, but there have been times where he can give up those pressures, or if the guy's just too quick or like too shifty, he can get around him, and so I'm worried about Hendrickson because that's the blind side of Stafford.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and I am also worried about Jesse Bates. I don't know why. I just have a feeling he could have like a good game. I've seen plays where he can lurk and make a big play or whatever. I don't know. I think he gets talked about a lot, but I think he could be a big threat in the defense. And then for me, I'd probably say, obviously on the offense, I'm most worried about Burrow, but I'd probably say it's more Higgins because some of our corners are a little bit undersized, and I think, like I mentioned earlier, with Higgins, he's just so big and he can go up and grab the ball. So I'm really worried about him. But obviously my main worry is Burrow because, like, even when he took 9 sacks, they still won. And even when there's pressure on him or people wrapping him up, he can still escape. So it's like, those are my guys that I'm really worried about. And I think it's going to be a really fun one.
Yeah. And I also noticed that, too, about the Bengals cornerbacks being small. Because, like, they have a really hard time with tight ends and stuff, especially, like, George Kittle. They're having a hard time with him. And I forgot who the Chargers tight end is.
Jared Cook, right?
Yeah. Even like him, he's not like a superstar, but he's pretty good. And they're having a really hard time like stopping that. And so it's just like the small corners are kind of scary sometimes because they can't post up against the big guys.
So do you think it's going to be more of an offensive or more of a defensive Super Bowl? Because some people obviously think that we're going to blow them out, but I've heard like a lot of the bigger media talking about how they think it's going to be more of a defensive game because the Bengals will play us smart, and then the Rams obviously they have the talent and everything. Right. What do you think is going to happen in that case?
Well, I wasn't really thinking about it, but now that you mention it, I could see it actually being a really defensive game because every Bengals game, everyone knows that the Bengals can like score in bunches when they can, but they've been playing more like anything it takes to win, so they've been like minimizing the long throws. They've been taking a lot more shorter throws in the playoffs and stuff. And their defense has been the ones who've been saving us in these games. Like the last 3 playoff games, or the 3 playoff games we've won were because of picks mainly. So pick in the last drive of like each one of them. So I think for the Bengals, it definitely has to be defense. And then the Rams, obviously, it's a given, it's going to be defense. So I feel like the Rams, at least at the beginning, are going to have more leeway with like their offensive side because they can play both sides of it really well. Yeah. The Bengals just I feel like it's gonna like we're gonna kind of be like crawling and scraping through the game, but I think their defense really has to show up. So I could definitely see it being a defensive game.
Yeah, sure. I think for me, I could see a defensive game coming in, especially when you have like 2 weeks to prepare. Yeah. That's a lot of time to be able to know an opponent and prepare and break it down. But for me, like I don't know, I feel like the offenses are gonna do good. I think the Rams I hope this obviously, I think they're going to come in with a good plan, and I think they're going to be able to move the ball like relatively easily. I think they're going to get stopped a few times, but I feel like they have the players and the playmakers to do it. And so I think they're going to be like moving quickly. And I think for the Bengals, their drives will be more like methodical and like you know, those quicker plays like I was talking about. I think it's going to take them longer to get down the field, but I think they're going to score and like continue to keep pace with us. And so I think it's going to be that. I'm probably going to say something like 27-24 or 27-20. I think that's around the score. Which obviously that's not too high scoring, but I think both teams are going to come out with like a hot start, and the defenses are really going to get used to it and kind of adjust to it as the game goes on. But
I agree.
I think it's going to be a really fun one. Now, if the Bengals win the Super Bowl, who do you think will be the MVP?
It's hard because it's mainly just for that game, right? Do they look at it like the whole playoff?
No, it's just the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so if they looked at the whole thing, it'd probably be Burrow, and it probably still will be Burrow if they win. But I think if they have on the offensive side, it's either gonna be Burrow or Chase, is my guess. But on the defensive side, I can see it, again, being a completely defensive battle and like seeing some takeaways happen. So if that's the case, I can definitely see somebody like you were talking about, Bates getting it, one of the safeties, or any of the cornerbacks. Like I can see Hilton or Woozier taking that, but I think it's probably gonna be somebody on the offense. And then Higgins, as you mentioned too. Chase is locked up. Higgins might get it, but I don't know.
It's a tough one to answer beforehand, especially like you don't really think about the MVP too much. But for me, I think for the Rams on the offensive side, I'm kind of thinking Cooper Kupp could get it. Just because he's so consistent, but at the same time, I don't know why I feel like Odell's gonna have a huge game because it seems like he really wants to win the Super Bowl. Cool. And like and with Kupp like getting all that attention, I think he has a chance of getting even more yardage and everything. But obviously, if one receiver has a lot of yards, that probably means the quarterback played well. So they'd probably give it to Stafford. And then on the defensive side, I think it would probably be Donald. Like, I know that Von Miller.
He's wanting to win so bad.
I think for Von Miller, like he's wanting to get the MVP again. He's like wanting to make history in that way. But I think for Donald, he felt really bad when they lost last Super Bowl, and I think he's gonna be trying his hardest to win the Super Bowl. And he could make some big plays like a strip sack to win the game, or he could just be getting a lot of production. So that's who I see. I can't really see Jalen Ramsey because I feel like he'll be tested, but I don't know if he gets any interceptions. And usually, they just look at the stats and they're like, "Well, he wasn't targeted." So I'd probably go Stafford. I could see Kupp, or Donald is mine, but it's gonna be a really fun one. I'll read a couple of comments here. Thank you everybody who stopped in. Old Man Ghost says, "I wish I could talk football with my brother. He's not interested in sports. My cousins lost them years ago."
Oh, no.
That's sad. Yeah, it's definitely fun. Like, we live in a huge family, and we all like different teams, so, like, we can all talk about different teams and stuff, so that's definitely really fun. Rams will dominate the line of scrimmage. That's what wins football games.
True.
It's going to be interesting. Do you think that we're going to be, like, completely destroying them, like, as far as the defensive line off it? Because that's what I think, too. I think they're going to be planning well against it, but...
Yeah, I think the Bengals are obviously going to have a scheme for it. Do I think the Bengals are going to win? I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's really a toss-up. I hope they do. But the Rams are going to make it hard, that's for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. Got to stop the Bengals' high-powered offense and get the pass rush going. And on the offense, we need to get the run game going because the Chiefs made a mistake and went away from the run game. Yeah, I think that's true. Stopping the high-powered offense is going to be hard because it seems like Burrow's never out of the game, which is what really scares me. And then, for running the ball, I still think that we can run pretty well versus them, especially with Akers. I think he has a chance of having a big day. I just don't see the Bengals as a huge threat in the run defense, but what have you seen this season from them? Like, do you disagree with that, or...?
No, I completely agree because a lot of their offense is generated by, like, the huge plays, like a lot of splash plays to Jamar, and then when he's covered, you throw it to Higgins, and then when he's covered, you throw it to Boyd. Like, we've all heard that story. But that's how they get their chunks down. Mixon is not a good running back, in my opinion. He's weird because some days he shows up, some days he doesn't, kind of like the offensive line. And so I think definitely your best bet is just to force us to keep running the ball. You guys have a really good run defense. And then on the other side, you guys keep running the ball at us because I agree with Was it Rod?
Yeah.
I agree with him that, the Chiefs had a chance to definitely just drain a bunch of clock in the game, but for some reason they held on to the ball. So I completely agree with that. I think that's right.
Yeah, have you seen this season as far as like the Bengals run defense? Have you seen them where they've played really good games and then they let up big ones?
Yeah.
Or are they like kind of average, or like where would you put them as far as that? Because we've seen like the Browns have big running games versus them.
Oh my gosh, every time.
Yeah, and so like I'm not really sure what to think of the run defense, but I know like last game the Chiefs were running it well.
Yeah,
they kept on having these gaps to run through, so that's where I think if you get Akers in a gap or like that little space, he's really dangerous. So what do you think about that?
No, I think like I would put them, I guess, mid-tier or a little bit lower than mid-tier, because a lot of times when I'm seeing like good running back teams run against us, it's like at least 5 every time they run, which is that's a lot of yards.
Yeah.
And then it just keeps us on our toes. Then we don't know if they're throwing it like to set up the play action. We don't know what's happening. So I think like they just let up consistently 5 or more, and then obviously we saw in the Titans game Deontay Foreman, the backup. To Henry, but like he got a 60-yard run.
Yeah, something like that.
And I think like there was 3 or 4 Bengals players draped on him at one time, and we just couldn't tackle him. So it's just a lot of the consistent runs we let by, and then it just seems like we can't understand what they're gonna do.
Yeah, and like I've been wondering this a lot because everybody's making a big deal, and like the NFL's making a big deal about what the Bengals did versus Mahomes, where they just dropped like everybody. It almost felt like there's barely anybody rushing. They dropped them to cover so that there's no options to throw to.
Yeah.
And with Stafford not being mobile, do you think they're gonna do that? And if they do that, are you really worried about the run? Because if you drop that many guys each time, the Rams can just run the football.
Yeah. What I really want to see, and I was telling David about this too before like we were even on here, is I want to see them blitz more, because I know Stafford's really good under pressure, but I think the thing about it is that the Bengals don't blitz at all, pretty much. Yeah. So when they do, it really catches teams off guard. Like I've seen, if we've done like 5 blitzes, 4 of them work out of 5. And so like I really want to see that a lot. Like I was hearing Mike Hilton is a really good blitzer and everything like that, just to throw him in there, because otherwise like I don't know. I feel like the Rams have a super open playbook to where Cam Akers is a super good running back. And I don't know, do you know if Henderson is starting or not?
No, I don't think he'll start, but I think he has a good chance at playing. Okay. Well, I'm guessing that McVay's going to be working him in slowly, so it'll probably be more Akers and Michelle.
I think we can handle the meatball Henderson. I think he's going to be okay to handle, but it's Cam Akers, Sony Michelle, who don't go down after first contact or pretty elusive. Like, so I forgot what the question was, but I think like they'll have a really good time running all over us. Pretty much.
Yeah, because like if the Bengals do the same thing, where they're dropping everybody, or not everybody, but pretty much everybody to go back and cover.
Yeah.
I am worried about like Stafford trying to make a play, because sometimes it's like it's not there and Stafford tries to make something out of it. But I think that's where Sean McVay would come in as far as like changing things up and making the run game more. Because like I still think that we're gonna have a good job, like a good day running it.
I think so.
But we'll see. I don't know if your defensive coordinator is gonna go back to that, because if you can hold Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs and like hold him to like 3 points in the whole second half, that's pretty good. So who knows if he goes back to that. Burrow is a man of destiny. Sorry, Rams fans. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about Burrow the most. Peo Time says hi, Rams House and brother Rams House. What's up, Peo Time?
Hey, Peo Time.
Have you talked about Jesse Bates? He is a player I'm more concerned about as an X factor. Yeah, we have. I think he is somebody I'm worried about. Like I feel like he's good at those lurk plays, and I think he could do something like that to Stafford. And I haven't seen a ton of like him blitzing or anything like that, or trying to stuff the run. But I am worried about him, and I think his coverage skills are really good. And so, like, if Stafford tries to throw in deep, I could be worried about him. But, I'm definitely worried about Bates. Yeah. Philip says, not a blowout, will be close, but the Rams are more experienced and have more star power.
True.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a blowout. A lot of fans do, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than that.
Yeah.
Peo Time has a question. He said, if you guys had to bring one player of the Rams and one player of the Bengals on a family camping trip, who would you pick?
Oh, man. That's hard.
I'd probably pick, just because like the type of person Stafford is, I would probably pick Stafford because he seems like the most family guy, and like
that's true.
I don't know, he seems like the right fit for that. So what about you?
I'd honestly probably pick Burrow. He's such a cool guy. Like, I definitely want to meet him. Like, he just seems like he's composed every time. So if we get attacked by a bear, he'll just be like so composed and know exactly what to do.
Joe Cool.
So I love that guy. That'd be awesome. Good question.
Payout Time always has those great questions that you don't expect.
I like it.
Old Man Ghost says Rams D may be built to contain Burrow and then and the run. Star edge rushers and who is the linebacker that will be the spy. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think having a spy on Burrow is going to be interesting. I think we should do that because Burrow is like, if there's nobody getting open, he runs it and he can like run through contact and whatever. I would probably like make the spy Ernest Jones because he's like a little bit faster, a little bit longer. I think Troy Reader would have a harder time with that, but he's a good tackler. Good to see two brothers who get along. I mean, this is the one day that we get along. No,
cameras turn on.
Yeah, exactly. No, a Rams fan and a Bengals fan in Colorado. Okay, 1 out of 2 ain't bad. For sure.
Ouch. I'm guessing he's a Rams fan.
Yeah, he is a Rams fan.
Oh, wow.
The disrespect.
Yeah.
Rod says we need to watch out for Hendrickson on the edge. He's solid at getting to the quarterback. I was hoping the Rams picked him up in the offseason last year. He's a good player. Yeah, and what do you think about trading Hendrickson? Because he went like how many games in a row was it? Like he went so many games in a row with a sack. And I'm worried about him for sure.
I really like him. I think he just needs more help because I was watching it and I think it was the Chiefs game when Sam Hubbard on one end and Trey Hendrickson on the other end. We're both trying to get to Mahomes, and the two like people in the middle, they were just standing there pretty much. They weren't even like trying to penetrate at all. I don't know if that was the plan. I don't think it was. It just looked like they were just stuck like on a wall. And you see Hendrickson and Hubbard get to Mahomes so like almost every play, not every play, but very often they would get to him. And you see like an arm stretch out to almost like touch him, and then Mahomes would throw it away because he had all day. So I really like him. I think if we got other people to help him out, he could be even like more dangerous, which is just scary to think about.
Yeah, that's the one thing for me. Like I'm worried about Hendrickson, and I'm worried about that blind side, like I said.
Yeah.
But like for me, there's not really a lot of guys that compliment him on there.
I know.
Like for the Rams with Donald, he has Miller, or vice versa. Then there's Floyd and Gaines.
Great Gaines.
And it's like, the whole line is just like really special, and they can all help each other out. It seems like every play, one guy's getting there.
Yeah.
But like for the Bengals, it's like there's pretty much one guy who's getting there, and he's like obviously Hubbard's good.
Hubbard's very good,
I don't see him getting like a ton of pressure all the time as compared to Hendrickson. So I agree with you. I think they're really good at like, as far as like when you look at their build, they're good for stopping the run. But obviously they haven't done a ton of that this year, so it's gonna be interesting.
Doesn't make sense.
Payo Time has another question. He says, "Have you guys ever made a bet, or have you guys made a bet with each other about the Super Bowl?"
Oh,
we haven't, but I don't know if we should or not. I don't know. But
$100 on the line.
Yeah, exactly, something like that. We should do that. Whose house for Rams house? That's right. Old Man Ghost agrees that Ernest Jones should be the spy. Payo Time says, question, does your brother have a YouTube channel called Bengals Den? No, he doesn't have a channel called that, but you probably should make a YouTube channel. A lot of them have recommended that, but...
I've told David this, that I, like... His knowledge about football is crazy. He's like a lot more like invested in it. And I haven't told him this, that he got me like a lot more into football this year. Obviously Burrow and the team is super exciting to watch, but like I don't know, every time I have a question I'm like, David, what's the salary cap? How did they do this? And he's like, he sometimes doesn't know everything, but he fills me in on like a lot of information. So I don't know if I could do it like he does it, like especially the in-depth, the thumbnails, the videos, everything like that is crazy. So
I mean, thanks for the compliment, but I mean, you're great at graphic design and everything.
Yeah,
definitely. If he makes a channel, I'm gonna try to convince him to make it Bengals Den or whatever. And if he does do that, I'll definitely recommend it to you guys. Let's see. Oh no, bro says, as a Saints fan, I'm so happy that Trey Hendrickson is killing it out there. Von Bell too. Yeah, he's a Saints fan. He likes those players. I think it's been cool. Like, there's been people talking about like the way the Bengals build their team, and talking about how they get guys who are experienced guys who you don't have to spend a lot of money on, but they make the plays when they need to. And obviously, like, they don't have big names or household names or whatever, but like the way they're building it is really smart. And those guys, I feel like the guys that you've signed in the offseason have really come out clutch. What about you?
No, I totally agree. Like you were saying, it's more of a culture thing that they're trying to do instead of like a home run hitter kind of a field, because they're just trying to build it to where if they get in these situations like the playoffs and everything, that the pressure isn't so much. They got the playmakers who can step up when they need to. And then, the two acquisitions from the Saints, Trey Hendrickson and Von Bell, those two have helped out tremendously among like everybody else. So I'm really liking how they're doing it. They don't have to spend a bunch of money, and we're still getting this far. So.
Yeah, and what's been cool to me, I don't know if the Bengals have the same defensive coordinator that they did last year. I'm forgetting his name. Is it like Onaramu or something like that? It's something like that.
Lou something or other.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh. But yeah, like for me, I remember seeing last year the Bengals defense. Like obviously it wasn't the best. To me, it was like more of the bottom tier. Like they would give up a lot of points, and like there would be games like that Colts one where they were up by so much, and they would let them back in because the defense. The defense couldn't hold them. Like they couldn't do anything. But then like this year, they've been responsible for winning games.
Yeah.
As well as Evan McPherson, obviously. Like
I love Evan McPherson.
He's been clutch. But yeah, like those additions they've made and like their defensive coordinator, it seems to be doing a lot better than last year.
Agreed.
And that's not even like a ton of changes that they've made. So definitely have a bright future, and they have like another off season to do more work. So it's gonna be interesting to see.
It's crazy.
Let's see. I just hope the Rams don't take the Bengals lightly. Yeah, me too. I don't think that they are, especially because it's the Super Bowl. You have to think of it like that.
Yeah.
I know some Rams fans are taking them lightly, but we'll see. Payoff Time says just saying loser could do the other's laundry for a week or something like that. That's a good bet, Peo. We should do that. Or like the other has to do the other one's homework or something like that. That'll be fun.
That's a good like harmless bet.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hilarious. I love it.
Peo Time also says, question, does your family support Rams House and his channel? He's on the road to 100K. That would be awesome. Yeah. But yeah, I think a lot of them are subscribed. I know Johnny watches sometimes. He was on the live stream last night. So definitely. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, definitely trying to get to 100K, but obviously got to get to like 5K first. Like, right? Yeah. Question by the Grim Reaper says, who do you guys think the Rams and the Bengals' best players are?
Ooh.
It's hard for me because the Rams have so many good ones, so I'm going to let you go first.
I know for me, it's the guy I'm wearing right now, Burrow. Like, you see, obviously they made a lot of off-season acquisitions and, even, like, in the draft, Jamar Chase, everyone thought he was going to be a bust, and just see where he is now. He's setting records left, right, and center. But Burrow, in my opinion, is just, we needed a quarterback with that mental toughness because...
The leadership.
He took, 8-9 sacks in that Titans game in the playoffs and still won. He still hung in there. He came back from, an ACL tear and, Achilles, I think, and everything like that. He came back and they're now, in the Super Bowl. So I think the toughness of Burrow, the confidence is just oozing to everybody else in the team, and it's just making them so much better.
Yeah, I agree. And, the swagger and, like you said, the confidence that Burrow has is crazy. I know there's great players in this league, there's great quarterbacks in this league, but I feel like Burrow's the most confident one, and he's never shaken. To get sacks that many times, Rodgers could complain about being sacked twice. Yeah, and and Burrow, he in his second year coming off an injury, technically is his rookie year.
Yeah.
And he comes in and he does this with them. It's crazy to me. For me, I think you have to go with Aaron Donald as the best player on the team because he's been there. Yep, ever since 2014. Donald has been the guy who's been the most consistent each year. And I feel he definitely raises the play that all the other players have, and he's the standard for them. And so there's plenty of players to look at and say they're the best one, but Donald's been here the longest. We drafted him, and the only thing he's missing on his resume is a Super Bowl. So to me, I think Donald's definitely our best player. But that's a good question, Grim Reaper. Yeah, exactly. Got to get him a ring. Let's see. May the best 9 win, that's right.
Yeah. I thought he was talking about the 49ers. It's wow!
No. Oh no, bro says, who should I go for during the Super Bowl? I mean, well, obviously both have different opinions.
Yeah.
We're both going to say different things, so I'll leave that one up to you. Maybe go, I don't know.
Go for a good game. Just go for a good game.
Exactly. You could go for the Bengals, though, because we did that no pass interference call thing versus you guys and knocked you out, so that might be... Rod says, at least the Bengals fans don't talk so much crap compared to the 49ers.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the 49ers fans talk a lot, and they're definitely a team I was really happy to beat, not only because of the fans, but because we just keep losing them. I definitely think the Bengals fans are more respectful, though. I haven't seen too many of them, though, on the channel.
Niners fans are not good.
Peloton has another question. He says, which player from each team are you most concerned about making a mistake in the Super Bowl? Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a very good question.
Peloton just asks the best questions.
He does.
Like, I don't know how to answer some of these ones.
You laugh because he's chirping too much on Twitter.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Hopefully not for you.
I don't know. I feel like anybody, I'd probably Awuzie, because I think Awuzie is going to be on Cup the whole time, or most of the time. I think it's a projected matchup. So I'm afraid he's going to Cup's going to do what Cup does, regardless on how good he plays. But I just hope he limits the mistakes to a minimum, and hopefully that'll help.
For me, I'm going to name one on the offense and one on the defense. Or I guess a couple offense and a couple on the defense, because for me, I'm worried about the Rams center, Brian Allen. Like, sometimes I know that the Bengals interior pass rush isn't very good, but sometimes with his size and everything, it seems like bigger players just can tend to dominate. And, like, if the Bengals get pressure up the middle on Stafford, that's where we've seen him at his worst. I could see Van Jefferson or Ben Skoranek having, like, a big mistake. Like, we saw Skoranek drop that one in the end zone versus the 49ers.
That was crazy.
I know. I was mad at him for that one, but I would probably say, like, inexperienced guys on the offense like that, like Skoranek or Jefferson, where they could, like, make a big drop.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't. And then on the defense, I'd probably say David Long Jr. or Darius Williams, because, again, Williams I'm worried about on Higgins when he's on him. David Long Jr., he's actually played really well in the playoffs, but I still feel like there could be a mistake that's looming. What's your guys' score prediction? I got Rams 27, Bengals 20. That's around where I have it, or like 27-23 Rams, but what about you?
Yeah, I think, like, other than who's winning and who's losing, because, again, I don't know who's going to win and who's going to lose.
Yeah, I don't either.
I obviously hope it's the Bengals, but I think anywhere in between, like, what you're saying, 20-27 or, like, 24-27, I feel like is really going to be what it is. I don't think it's going to be off-the-chart scoring, like that Chiefs and Rams game on Monday
That would be awesome, but...
Yeah, but I think it's going to be right around there, I think, as well.
Peo Time has another question. He says, what will the Super Bowl Sunday look like at your house? Have you played out the day, food, or... Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a good question.
For me, I'd probably just be, like, super nervous the whole day. I probably won't get sleep before the Super Bowl, just tossing and turning in the bed. For us, we like to make... I want us to make chicken wings again. We really like to make those. Good. Yeah, and then we make these things called, like, pepperoni rolls. So you, like, get these rolls, and then you put pepper jack cheese and then pepperoni on it. And so we'll probably make that. I haven't really planned out my day too much, but I know that he has to work for the first half, which is really unfortunate, because this is the first time he's been able to watch the Super Bowl with his team in it. So, yeah. Do you have any plans other than work, obviously, or any thoughts?
Yeah. So the work thing is really annoying because I work at Domino's Pizza delivering, and usually the Super Bowl is, like, one of our busiest days. But last year it was busy, but, like, we had enough people to take care of it, and it should be the same this year. So I keep trying to ask my manager to get off, but he's saying that I can't. But he can have me off for the second half. Yeah. So I'm really, really, really bummed about that. But my plan for the day is just to kind of, like, relax in the day and, like, just kind of enjoy the fact that we're in the Super Bowl before we go into the actual game. And then when I'm delivering pizza, I'm going to have the NFL app on and probably have my earbud in so I can listen to it. And then when I come home, just going to enjoy it. Hopefully it'll be a close game at that point so I can just enjoy it, just see what happens. But
yeah, for me, I think it's cool. A lot of people get mad. And, like, even the last time the Rams were in the Super Bowl when we were playing the Patriots, I was like, why does it have to be 2 weeks? Like, it feels so long. Yeah. And it does, but at the same time, it's cool because you can admire the fact that you're the only two teams left.
Feels so
and,
good.
Like, all the attention's on you, besides, like, Brady trying to steal it with his retirement.
Oh my gosh,
but
perfect timing, Brady.
I know, right? But, like, yeah, for me, it's, like, cool to enjoy the fact that you have 2 weeks to, like, enjoy it. And then there's, like, the media day stuff that they do and everything, so I'm excited for that. I'm hoping that you won't have to stay at work too long, but, you know, we'll see what happens. Let's see. Did you see the Rams offensive coordinator taking the Vikings head coaching job? Yeah, I saw that. It's unfortunate, but it seems to happen every single year where we get people taking. Let's see. I was rooting for the Bengals and Kenny Anderson in their first Super Bowl versus the 49ers. Yeah, you better be. I hope you weren't rooting for the 49ers. Like, I don't like that team.
No.
Let's see. Peyote says, oh no, can you listen to the radio as you drive?
Yeah, I definitely can. I think I will too. But like when I'm in the store, we used to have an antenna and with the TV, and we could watch the Super Bowl like I did last year. But we paid for something else, and so we got rid of the antenna. So when I'm in the store, I don't want it to just be me like standing around, like looking around, wondering what the score is. So I still have to figure out how to like go from the radio, because that's in real time, the radio to the NFL app, which is delayed.
Yeah.
So I'll still figure that out, but.
Let's see. If you could each sit one player in the other... Wait. If you could each sit one player in the other team, who would it be? So I think you're saying like for an advantage, but I'd sit Burrow.
Oh, yeah.
We could probably just pick the quarterbacks, honestly.
That's true, but Wolford is still pretty good.
Yeah,
Brandon Allen is not very good, the backup for the Bengals. I would probably sit one of the defensive players, like Donald Ramsey or Von Miller.
Yeah.
Or even Greg Gaines, for Pete's sake. You guys are stacked.
Fastest player in the NFL. Let's see. Pill time is another question. I love these questions that you're putting in for us. Let's see. Has the rest of your family picked sides for this game? I don't think so, right?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't. I think we both just like our whole family just thinks it's gonna be a really interesting game. I don't think we're picking sides. Old Man Ghost, Pepper Jack, and Pepperoni and what? So it's like I don't know if you've seen those Rhodes rolls, but like they're these rolls that like you could put out to thaw and they rise. Then you can put them in the oven. They're like these little dough roll things.
Yeah.
And so then you put the pepperoni and the pepper jack inside of it. Then you fold it over and then cook it in the oven. It's like a. It's not really like a pizza roll, but it's almost like that type of concept.
It looks kind of imagine like, you know, a muffin, almost a muffin shape, kind of. And then that has the pepperoni and the melted like pepper jack cheese in it. It's kind of that shape, but yeah, they're about like, I don't know, this big.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Definitely recommend trying it, especially if you get like marinara sauce or something like that to put it in. It tastes.
It sounds weird, but actually it tastes really good.
A lot of the food that we like sounds kind of weird, but like it's actually good. But yeah, I think that this game's gonna be a really fun one. I really like our uniforms that we're gonna be wearing.
Yeah, those are sick.
Obviously, we both want our teams to win. What do you think is the biggest key for the Bengals in terms of like what they have to do to win this game?
I think it's defense, honestly, because like I know Burrow can produce on offense, and you know the receivers are gonna help him out. Mixon, I'm hoping he doesn't have a bad game, because I can definitely see that happening. But I think it's just for us, it's the defensive side, keeping the Rams only to field goal range, if anything, you know, because I don't know, I can see the offense moving like super easily, especially with Kupp again. And I'm not even mentioning Odell or Van Jefferson, and those guys can play too. So it's like
Blanton, for
and Blanton in the reps, he was crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
So so I don't know. I think it's just our defense. If we are stepping up on defense, and people are probably going to say, what about the offensive line? We've scored with the offensive line being bad before, so I think his defense is definitely going to be the number one priority.
It's almost like with Stafford playing on the lines for so long. He's been like prepared to play in big moments because he was always trying to make comebacks. Yeah. And then for Burrow, he's played with a terrible offensive line his whole career, like in the NFL at least. And so now I feel like he's ready to step up. For me, I think it's a tough thing to say, but I think it's just. I think it's probably getting turnovers because I think again, like you mentioned, Burrow gets sacked all the time and everything like that, and so he's used to that and everything. But he rarely makes those mistakes or throws interceptions. And he rarely gets rattled. And I think one of the most deflating things that can happen for a football team on both sides of the ball is an interception. Yeah. Like, it can just completely take down the morale of your team on both sides of it. So I think forcing turnovers is going to be huge for us. Obviously, pressure is big, but Burrow's always under pressure and stuff like that. So I think for me, it's just, like, generating turnovers and covering well.
Turnovers are huge, like you mentioned. It's very deflating for the other team. And then the defense just has to get right back out there when they're tired and then try to make another stop. So that's a good one.
Yeah. Let's see. Taylor Time says, question, do you enjoy your job at Domino's?
I think it's good and it's bad. It's definitely like however busy you are is going to be how long you stay. So sometimes I'm like coming home like 3 hours late from what I was scheduled on, which isn't fun. But it is fun driving in my car and like listening to music and stuff like that, and getting tips is like really fun. But especially when it comes to the Super Bowl, I do not enjoy working at Domino's.
Thumbs down.
The worst time is the Super Bowl when I'm in it. But
the Grim Reaper has a question. He says, what are your ranks for the NFC West favorite to least favorite? Mine's 1 Rams, 2 Cardinals, 3 Seahawks, and 4 Bang Bang Niner Gang. For me, let's see.
The ram emojis.
Yeah, I like the ram emojis.
Really sells it.
Yeah, I think the ranks that you have is exactly what I have, because if you're talking about the 49ers being the worst, I completely agree with you. Seahawks I used to not like a lot. I'd probably put Seahawks at 2, or no wait, 3 is where you have it. It's just a weird ranking. Cardinals are definitely my favorite besides the Rams in the NFC West. I think they're the most likable. What about you?
Starting to get a little cocky.
Yeah, I know, right? Again. And we put them in their place.
I think so. For me, definitely the Rams, because my brother likes them. The Rams are at the top. Cardinals at the beginning of the season were probably my second favorite, but then they kind of got weird. I feel like they started getting really cocky. Kyler Murray was doing he just didn't seem like himself, which is weird. I like Kyler Murray; he's pretty cool. So so either the Cardinals or the Seahawks, but probably the Cardinals second as well. Seahawks never really had a problem with them besides Binky Boy, DK Metcalf.
DK Metcalf.
He's kind of weird. But I've always liked Russell Wilson a lot, so probably them at 3. And then the 49ers, there's something about them I just do not like.
I know.
Yeah.
You have to not like them. And they beat you guys this year. Why'd they do you?
They did, and I think it was that might have been a 1-score game.
It was overtime, right?
It was really close. I can't remember. There was a lot of games over overtime.
Yeah. Jonathan has a hot take. He says, this will be a blowout, calling it. Burrow not going to be able to escape from A.D. Von Floyd gains. Plus, Jalen will shut Chase down. He will learn what it's like going up against the best defensive back. That's an interesting take. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, like I've said all week, but I think the Bengals are going to have a huge challenge and a huge test. They've played really good teams to get to this point, which is what worries me, because it's they're battle-tested and everything like that, but I feel like this might be the hardest team they've played in the playoffs because they're really complete. I feel like the Chiefs, they're good on the offense and everything like that, but their defense isn't as good as ours. I think we're really complete, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
That's a lot of caps, Jonathan.
I know, right?
We shared the same name. I thought you'd at least, have some common sense. No, I think, that would suck if that happened. If Burrow just lost his composure and could not escape.
They have a young team. That's going to be a scary part.
Yeah, so that would really stink if that actually did happen. I honestly don't see it happening. I think even if they're the Bengals are down by 2 or 3 scores, I think they're going to come back to make it look close if they lose. But I honestly don't see it being a blowout personally, and I really hope it doesn't be a blowout. But I guess we'll see.
Payoff Time has another question. He says, as a Bengals fan, which AFC North team do you dislike the most? That's a good question.
I think it's, I don't know, it was either the Browns or the Steelers, because the Ravens beat us a lot back in the Andy Dalton days and everything like that, but those days are gone now, so I'm not, Lamar's pretty cool. I don't really mind them a lot. I don't really mind them too much, but the Browns are annoying because Baker Mayfield's really spotty a lot. I know he's working through some injuries this year and everything, but their run plays, the Kareem Hunt Nick Chubb combination would just kill us every single time. It was I was watching the same game, almost like the 49ers game for you.
Yeah.
You're watching the same game plan that the Rams do against the 49ers, and the 49ers win. That's what the Browns are for me. And then for the Steelers, Big Ben is just always on top of it, except for this year.
Yeah.
Juju Smith-Schuster. I loved when I think it was Von Bell smacked Juju Smith-Schuster and he flew way back. That was one of my favorite games. But probably the Browns, honestly. I don't like them.
Yeah, that's the annoying thing when you see a team do the same game plan every single time versus you, and your team doesn't adjust or you can't stop it. Especially for both of us, because the 49ers really like to run the football, and it's their only way they can win, because Garoppolo's not that good.
He's not.
And so it's for me, it's really annoying because watching a team just run all over you or get 5 yards of carry and always get to the 3rd and short, then convert it. That's the least favorite football to watch, and if it happens every time, it's annoying. And Mayfield's not a superstar, so it's you can beat him if you stop the run.
He honestly kind of reminds me of Jimmy Garoppolo, because Jimmy Garoppolo, I've seen some of his passes are really good, but then when the pressure's on him, he just can't do it.
Yeah,
it's kind of
the last play of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really thought about it like that, but I think that's true. Let's see. When the Hawks and the Pats were in the Super Bowl, they were my 2 least favorite teams in the league. Hawks have come up since then. Yeah, I agree with you. I think I think that was the Super Bowl where it was the interception on the 1 yard line when they should have run the ball. But For me, like, I didn't know who I wanted to win in that Super Bowl because I didn't like the Patriots either with Brady. They were like really unlikable.
Yeah.
Of course, they beat us like twice in the Super Bowl, so you don't like that either.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I think the Seahawks used to be really annoying, but I think teams are really like they get annoying to me when they become good consistently, like every year.
Yeah.
Which is kind of
The
us,
Chiefs,
but yeah,
because the Chiefs weren't good for a while. They were like okay.
Yeah.
And then they started being good, and everyone was like crazy, and Mahomes was like awesome, and then now it's just like everyone hates the Chiefs now.
I know it's annoying, but yeah, I think I agree with you. Ever since that Super Bowl, the Seahawks have definitely like risen a little bit more. Like I like them a little bit more. It doesn't mean I like them, but they're more likable.
Yeah.
Let's see. The Bengals are good, fam. Burrow, my second favorite QB after Stafford, of course. The Bengals offensive line is too bad.
Yeah.
They will not be able to stop 80, Vaughn, etc.
That's fair. Honestly, like I don't know. I've seen the Titans were our worst team that we played in terms of their defense. They were getting to Burrow every single time. He got sacked 8 times or 9 times. I can't remember. I think it was 8. And that didn't mention like how many times he was hit on every single play. So we've dealt with them before. I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying that it's a winnable game if that's the case. But I'm just saying like I think we'll probably do a little bit better than you think.
Yeah.
But I do know that we're gonna have a ton of trouble from our really bad offensive line and the really good defensive front of the Rams. So
it's gonna be an interesting game. I'm still so excited for it, and like you said, it's hard to predict who's gonna win or how it's gonna go. I think it's gonna be really interesting.
It's just gonna be an in the game just to see.
Yeah.
And you're asking me about the scheming. Will the Bengals do the thing where they drop? 8 rush 3 against Stafford, and I think like. The Bengals are actually kind of good at adjusting in the game.
Yeah.
And so they usually just see what comes to them and then they adjust, which they usually didn't do, but now they do it. So that's what I think it's going to be for both sides. They're just going to see and adjust.
It's going to be really fun. I think it is going to come down to the coaching and stuff because they both know each other, and it's going to be about like putting your players in the best situations to win.
Agreed.
Okay, Peyote has a question. It was up here, I think.
Okay.
There we go. It's a situation. You each pick 3 players from your team to race in a 10-mile race involving running, swimming, rock climbing, fighting a bear, and a series of mind puzzles. Who do you pick and who wins? Okay.
Wow. That's a wide range of skills that I need to think about.
Cooper Cup's my first one because he's really smart and like he's really calm. He knows things really well. I feel like his mind would work really good in those puzzle games. And then... Okay, I have to think of the other ones because I can't think off the top of my head of other 2.
For me, obviously, Burrow. Burrow's the answer for everything. It's if you answer that, it's a good answer. He's got the confidence and he's not the most athletic, I would say, in terms of like running and everything like that. But I think he'd be able to figure out the mind puzzles.
Second player for me, pick Aaron Donald because if you're fighting a bear, you need a guy who's like a bear. Yeah, exactly. I think he's too strong and he'll be able to beat them. And then for your second player, well, I think my third one.
Second player would be probably Mike Hilton, just in terms of speed. Holy cow, that guy can run. I saw him catching up to Josh Jacobs on the Raiders, and it looked like that guy was just standing by the way he ran up to him. And then Hilton picks off Tannehill and tries to run it from him, and then Tannehill catches up to him. So that was weird. I don't know what happened there, but
for my third one, it's tough. I'd actually probably pick Sony Michel because I feel like his composure and stuff, it seems like he always looks the same and like doesn't really react. He's really calm and stuff, and so for that situation I'd pick Sony Michel. And obviously like Cup in a race or in swimming, I think you would do good enough to do the job and stuff. So it's a good question, definitely a hard one to think about.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ono says, I'm honestly surprised that he said the Browns. I would have thought it would have been either the Ravens or the Steelers due to how unlikable they can be sometimes, especially the Steelers.
Yeah, no, and that's a different thing too, is like the Browns aren't necessarily like a arrogant team or anything like that. So in terms of like in terms of this year, we beat the Ravens twice. I think we beat the Steelers twice as well. And then we lost to the Browns both times. One time was to our backup.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really count, and then the other time was like an actual game.
Yeah.
But in terms of like being beat, the Browns are my least favorite. But in terms of like arrogance and like cockiness, probably the Steelers for the longest time. I hated it. And my other brother's a Steelers fan, And so, like, he'd always be, like, talking trash about us because we weren't good enough to beat them.
Yeah.
So that was annoying.
Look where we're at now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Lake and Gore says, "What's up? What's up, man?" Big Time says, "If you guys played Madden, who was normally?"
Oh, it's David. It's David for sure.
If Johnny played more, he'd definitely have, like, a good chance at beating me, or, like, a really good chance. But he just doesn't really play Madden that much, so
yeah,
I understand that.
Every time he's like audibling the play, he's like user lurking me all the time, and it's just he plays a lot more than I do, but still I'm still surprised on how good he is. Like I'm like I think this will work, and then all of a sudden his linebackers all the way across the field.
It's like I subbed him in.
Corey Littleton, for Pete's sake. What Madden was that?
That was like 19, 18, something like that.
Every time I throw it, Corey Littleton would have a one-handed interception or something like that. It's crazy.
The lurk abilities of him being a safety. Yeah, I don't know. I think, again, if he played more, I think it would be a lot closer, but he doesn't play that much, so it's always... let's see.
It's always me.
Yeah, exactly. I just gotta pat myself in the back. Separately, that tree shirt is fire. Burrow is a beast. Happy for the Bengals. Thank you, Cali Ram fan. I appreciate it.
That's a W comment.
Yeah, it is. I think the best one of the day. Who knows?
Yeah, I think so.
I love this matchup even more I love this matchup even more than most, but I'm fearing Burrow's physical health.
That's a hard one. I am too. Like especially you see like his injury last year was really really hard to watch. And he gets hit a lot, but he gets up. But it's like that's not a guarantee, you know. So I completely agree. I hope he'll be good after this.
Let's see. Jonathan is asking, isn't Jesse Bates a free agent next season? Hopefully he comes to the Rams. He is. I doubt we bring him in, especially with Fuller. I think the Rams really like him, but do you think the Bengals will bring him back? I don't know how much he's asking, but like...
I feel like there's a good chance they'll bring him back. Like you said, it depends on how much they're asking, because they really have to invest in an offensive line, and hopefully they do that. The Bengals organization does a great job of not picking good players. Chase was really good, but like everyone was doubting it in the moment, because we wanted Penei Sewell, so... I don't know. It depends on how much he's asking and what we're planning on doing with our offensive line, you know?
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams brought him in. It seems like they can bring in whoever they want.
That's true, yeah. Jalen Ramsey would market for...
I know, exactly. He really wants Derwin James. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. What made you guys become fans of these teams? For me, I became a fan of them because we were born in St. Louis, and it was like my family always made me wear Rams shirts and stuff like that. That's like what we had. And it was like kind of the team, like at least early on, that we were cheering for.
Yeah.
And then after that we moved to Colorado, and I just kind of stuck with them and I liked them. So that's really for me. It's just because I was born in St. Louis, but then after I was like, this is, even though we were bad at the time, I was like, this is a cool team.
Yeah.
And so
that's
me.
Home.
Yeah, exactly. What about you though?
Honestly, like, because we have 7 siblings, or like 8 of us in total. I have 7 siblings, and everybody had their own team. And usually there were different teams. Like my dad liked the Bears, David likes the Rams. My sister liked the Rams, or our sister liked the Rams too. Mm-hmm. And then everybody else had pretty much a different team. And I really wanted to fit in with everybody, so I was like, I definitely need a team. And I was trying to look at like which ones were left to pick from. And my rationale back then was I really like tigers. This is my favorite animal, so like the Bengals are perfect, and so that's how I started liking them. But like I've learned to like them a lot better, especially with what they are right now too.
The big thing though is that we aren't bandwagons. We all chose our teams early on, and we stuck with them. Like,
when did you? I don't know if you can even remember what year.
Like did I start like paying close attention, or like?
Or just even like when you first started, like you said, you moved to Colorado and stuck with it.
I think it's probably like when I was like 6 or 7.
Which is like, so get that out of the way.
Yeah, exactly.
I was
not a bandwagon.
Yeah, I think I was a fan since 2009 or earlier. I still remember having like the Christmas pictures of me holding up a Bengals shirt, like, oh my gosh,
I got a jersey. Yeah, it's definitely been fun. It's sad when your team is bad and everything like that.
Yeah, it is.
The most annoying thing is when you watch them through the bad times, and people are like, are you a bandwagon when they're good? Or like,
I know.
Are you actually a fan?
The amount of questions.
I know. It's like, you shouldn't even question our loyalty.
Yeah.
But that's a good question. Joe is the first round pick. Matthews is a first round pick. I got Matthew winning a Super Bowl and winning MVP. That's a good bet. I think if the Bengals win the Super Bowl, I think Burrow will be MVP too. He just kind of carries a lot of the time. Let's see. I can't wait. Let's go Rams. I can't either.
It's so close.
We both can't sleep. Like it's
like 8 days away.
Yeah, Jeez. Oh my gosh, we're so close. Let's see. Top 5 teams all time and top 5 Bengals all time.
Ocho Cinco is one of them for me. He's gonna go down.
Oh,
is it talking about players?
Yeah, I read it as top 5 teams, but it's top 5 Rams players of all time,
okay.
top 5 Bengals all time.
It's hard.
It is. Like especially because with the Rams, there's so many players. It's really controversial. I'd probably put Marshall Faulk or Eric Dickerson in there.
Yeah.
It's just too many good players.
And it's like all time too, cause like I liked them back then, but we didn't have like cable or anything, so we were just watching what was broadcasted, and normally it wasn't a Bengals game. So, but AJ Green, I'll say, I really liked. There's a couple underrated people like what's his name? First of all, Giovanni Bernard, who's now on the Bucks. I really liked him. Sad we got rid of him. And Mohamed Sanu, who it was on the Falcons. I don't know where he is now. Is he on the Patriots now?
He might have. I forgot where he went. He might have actually been on the 49ers. I don't know.
I think he's been everywhere, but I really liked him. Those are just some underrated people. But Joe Burrow, I feel like is going to go down as like a top 5. He's already top 5 to me, honestly.
It's hard when you're like saying top 5 players all the time because it's really controversial and there's so many good players to pick. And some people, he's on the 49ers this season, so I don't like him anymore.
What happened?
What did you do to yourself? Let's see. Bengals great at disguising coverage, different schemes in different games. Do you think Stafford will read it and any interceptions? That's what I'm worried about because, like Johnny said, they're good at adjusting. Like you said, they're really good at like hiding what they're doing and like doing things where it's like you think it's gonna be one thing and then it's different. I think Stafford, like he's been in the league for so long, he can kind of like adjust on the fly to that.
Yeah.
But what I am worried about is like if he's trying, because he knows this is the Super Bowl and he wants to make a play, and trying the hardest and then like throws it into a window that's like covered.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about. But he's played really well in the playoffs, so
yeah.
I think the question's been answered for the critics about him playing the big games and everything.
Amen.
So,
just
shut
up.
Yeah, exactly.
As somebody would say. But.
Yeah, I don't like what the national media says about Stafford because he's definitely proven what he can do.
Yeah.
Let's see, when the Rams win, wow, he's going all
confident.
In. Yeah, when the Rams win the Super Bowl, who will be the Super Bowl MVP? We talked about this a little bit earlier, but I think it could be Cooper Kupp, but at the same time they're playing against him. Who knows how many yards he would get, and it could be OBJ in that case. But I think if a receiver has a good day, it's probably a good case of the quarterback playing well, so they would probably give it to Stafford. But I could also see Aaron Donald playing really well and getting Super Bowl MVP like Von Miller did.
Take it easy, Donald.
Yeah, he wants the Super Bowl really bad, and he's a really good player. I could see him making some game-changing plays against his offensive line, and so that's my bets. But since, like, I know we talked about this earlier, but who do you think will be the MVP for the Bengals?
For the Bengals, I could definitely see it being Burrow, especially with what he's done all season. I know it's only for that game, but I think people still think about what he's done all season. It's either going to be Burrow or on the defensive side, if somebody's getting a lot of interceptions, like, I don't know, if Awuzie holds Kupp into place, or if, I don't know, Bates or Bell, like, the safeties, if they can disguise and get some picks, hopefully, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
But I honestly see it being an offensive MVP if we win.
Yeah. Let's see. Another good question. If you could give, I think you meant to say, if you could give one player a superpower for this game day, what would it be and what power? Or who would it be and what power?
Ooh.
I don't. So you're talking about just for the game? Because if that's the case, it's harder. If we were just talking about from like now on, I would give Donald being ageless so that he could play for forever and people could never get he could never be out of the NFL. But if you're talking about for the game, I'd probably say invisibility.
It's like Madden 08 in the replays.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
They disappear.
I'd probably say invisibility for either Cooper Kupp or for Jalen Ramsey, so that if Burrow thinks that he's open, then Ramsey could just pick him off. Or if it's Cooper Kupp, then nobody can see him and he could get it. It's a good question, though. What would you say?
I would say Burrow being able to fly, so he can just get a
fly over
touchdown
them.
every single time.
That's a good power.
It would be like so cheap.
Yeah,
it'd be hilarious to see.
It's an open question.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see. It's okay. I'm from LA. I see Raiders and 49ers everywhere. Ugh, I don't like that. We see Broncos stuff everywhere,
Oh my gosh, Broncos fans are. I don't know. A lot of them are old, which is fine, but a lot of them are really annoying. They think they're the best team in the world. I'm like.
And we have to see their brand stuff everywhere. It's kind of annoying. So. Yeah. And their colors, like, I don't know. But we have to thank them for Von Miller because
that's true.
That was a good one.
Great pickup.
Let's see. I like how Jalen keeps liking tweets about Higgins saying that they won't be scared to throw his way. I'm expecting Jalen to shut everyone down Sunday. That's gonna be fun to watch. Yeah,
very possible.
I bet it's kind of scary for other teams when Ramsey sees those things because it seems like he always tries to prove them wrong after that.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, stay off social media, guys. Focus on playing the game.
I know.
You're making him mad.
Don't feel. He's gonna try to prove himself.
Yeah.
Let's see. You guys should be. Let's see. You guys should bet if the Rams win, your brother comes to live with the Rams shirt. Yeah.
Ooh,
comes on live.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely get that done, and we'll see what happens.
Man, I think like I could definitely do it, but it would just hurt my heart a lot. Yeah.
Imagine if a Bengals fan saw it or a Bengals player.
They're like bandwagon. No,
God. Let's see. I got Von winning Super Bowl MVP. That dude just shows up in big games and big plays when you need him. That's true, and he won Super Bowl MVP before, so. We'll see.
He's been proving his postseason worth too. Cause
I know.
You mentioned to me that he said he's gonna like playoff Von Miller is a different person, and we were both kind of like, well, we'll see. A lot of people say that, and then goodness gracious, that guy is all over the place now.
And like he said, he comes up in big moments. He could be getting pressures all game, which is important, but then in the biggest moments, Von Miller will step up and make a play.
Yeah.
Let's see. I go back to the 50s picking top 10 if it's not possible, but Falk is always the first one that comes to mind, and now Kupp is getting there for the same reasons, smarts and the same page, or on the same page as the QB. And that's crazy with Cooper Kupp. There's been so many highlights and so many plays that I've seen with Cooper Kupp when he's not even turned around, he's still on his route before he even breaks it, and Stafford throws it to where he's gonna be.
Yeah.
It's that's still crazy to me, the chemistry that they have. And there's that same play in the corner of the end zone versus the 49ers last time, where Kupp was still working on his move and separating. He hadn't even separated yet, and Stafford threw it right to where he was gonna be. It's just that trust and everything. I don't know the smarts that Kupp has, because everybody always says that he thinks like a quarterback.
Yeah.
And so he knows how to get open really well. So it's he's definitely making his way up the ranks, and I like it too because I knew that Cooper Kupp was good for a while. Ever since they drafted him, you could see him. But it's you need a top tier quarterback. Goff was good.
Yeah, he wasn't great.
Yeah, in the years that Goff was good, it was Kupp was the number 2 or the number 3 because Cooks and Woods were taking the reps while he was developing a little bit. So cool to see. Let's see. I love seeing you talking football with your brother. It reminds me of the relationship I had with my brother before he passed away at the young age of 23. It'll be 11 years and 3 days on February 8th. That'll be sad.
Yeah.
Definitely take it for granted a lot when you can just talk to your brother about things like that or about football and stuff. But that's sad. Old Van Gils was talking about people that he was related with dying and stuff like that. But sad. It's hard to remember times with him, but I always remember watching and talking football with him. I really appreciate that this live brings back good memories.
Aww.
That's good. It's definitely a fun time for me too to be able to talk with him live because I'm always Johnny, you know how to talk football, so let's just come on the stream together.
Don't know as much as you do, but I can talk some football. Yeah.
It'll be cool to look back on too, because this might be the only time our teams make it to the Super Bowl together, so we can always look back on this too. What's happening, everybody? What's up, LA Rams? I like the Chiefs, but I want the Rams to win.
Oh, is it I'm not trying to jab at you or anything. Was it because we beat you guys or?
Yeah, who knows? I don't know. I don't even know if he's a Chiefs fan or not. I don't recognize the name tag. Jake Sports says, "Oh my gosh, no Joe Cool in LA. Nope. Kobe got a ring in LA. Mookie from the Dodgers win a ring with LA. Let's go Rams. My city. It's going to be going lit, or it's going to be lit." It's gonna be interesting.
Another question for you guys, and again, I'm not trying to be pretentious or anything or jab at you guys, but I'm honestly wondering how much do you think what do you think the stadium is gonna be filled with? Do you think it's gonna be mostly Rams fans, mostly Bengals, 50-50. David is saying there's probably going to be like a lot of like celebrities and stuff taking
And
seats.
NFL fans and stuff.
The tickets are 10,000 plus.
Outrageous,
something like that. So
like,
I'm curious to see that too.
For the furthest seat back, like in the nosebleed spots, I think it's like $5,000 or something.
Oh my gosh!
And nobody's gonna spend that much
I mean,
on
you can watch it on the what's that thing called?
The Oculus.
The Oculus.
Yeah.
You don't just watch it on that. That's like a whole
true.
football field on
That's
its own.
true. I think it would be fun to go there, but there's no way that we're gonna spend like what you would spend on a car to get to go there. Like, jeez.
On Domino's salary.
The first Super Bowl was like $12, I think, like for the ticket, and so it's like that compared to what it is now.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Let's see. Hit the like. That's right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Your brother looks so much like you. It's crazy. Yeah, I get that a lot. Like, I don't personally see it that much, but I think it's just because I'm like used to like how we all look and everything like that. But apparently, everybody thinks our whole family looks so much alike, and like, it's crazy.
It's copy paste pretty much.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see. Chase will win Super Bowl MVP. Bengals will win. Chase versus Ramsey will be so physical. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be a really fun matchup. Obviously, Raheem Morris, pretty much from what he was saying in his press conference, it sounded like he wasn't gonna keep Ramsey on him like he's done the whole season. He'll probably move around, which is what worries me because then Chase can maybe have a big play. But it's gonna be interesting. I hope the Bengals don't win, but if I could lose to any team in the Super Bowl, it would be them, not like the Patriots or the Chiefs or.
Another thing I will say too about the whole Chase Ramsey, we talked about it at the beginning, but like it's gonna be obviously super entertaining. They're gonna be talking all game, which is gonna be fun. But the thing that kind of worries me about Chase in his first year is that he is a little bit inexperienced, and Ramsey's a veteran right now. So the thing I will say is that sometimes when Chase gets taken out of the game, even if they're switching, the corners on him and everything like that, because he's in his head that he's not doing well. Sometimes I feel like he doesn't do well. So. I think Ramsey's going to have the edge for sure. We'll just see, what else
It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
Okay, Kenny Pickett's says, even though I'm a Steelers fan, I still got respect for what Cincinnati has done. Great job by the Bengals. They deserve it. That's a good question. We like the respectful ones.
Yeah,
especially when it's a divisional rival saying that. But, yeah, I think it's been cool to see what the Bengals have done because I feel like coming into the playoffs each week, I was like, I don't know if they're going to do it. Like, I knew they could win the week one. Or I guess the wild card round, but then like the further they got, I was like, are they gonna lose? Who knows? And they've won every time. It's like it's really cool to watch.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like we're reading Paleo Times, right?
Let's see, Kenny Pickett's burner.
Oh, yeah. No, there was a couple of them that were kind of similar, so got confused. But yeah, Kenny, it's crazy. Like same thing my brother was saying. Like I knew that the Bengals could they had potential to be good. Especially like during the whole regular season, but in the playoffs it was just like a toss up of who would win.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Raiders I was pretty confident about.
Mm-hmm.
The Titans I was really scared about. I was so
scared,
and the defense played even better than I thought, which was horrible. I hated that for Burrow so much, but and then the Chiefs I was pretty worried about, but less about than the Titans. And then we won, so it was really cool to see how the season went and everything like that. So.
And who would have thought that it would have been Rams versus Bengals in the Super Bowl?
Wild.
I don't think anybody predicted that.
Because obviously we won it every year, but it's not like you think it's gonna happen. So.
Yeah, exactly. Like I had a lot of confidence in the Rams, especially with getting Stafford, but like from the Bengals getting like 4 or 5 wins last season and a tie, like
it's 4-11-1.
Yeah, it's gonna be insane. Like I didn't think that was gonna happen, but.
Agreed.
Rudy Ramirez says your channel has been on fire the whole season. It's the best channel on YouTube right now. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And yeah, definitely doing it together makes it the best channel, like the dynamic duo. But yeah, I appreciate your comment. Paleo Time says, question, John, please be honest at the start of the season. What was your prediction for this team?
So I was actually talking about this with David at the beginning of the season, and I told him that either just below 500 or 500. That's pretty much what I was thinking. So being that there's 17 games now, I was thinking either 8-9 or 9-8 would be my prediction. I honestly did not think that they were going to do this well, especially with Chase. It was worrying that we passed up Penei Sewell for Chase, which I was excited to see what Burrow was going to do, but I was like, if Burrow's leg is broken again, how are we going to see that? So there wasn't a whole lot of expectation. I thought it'd be better than last year, but it completely exceeded my expectations.
It's been a fun season, and now they're really young team, so that means like they can be super good for so many years in a row.
Yeah.
Which is the scary part too.
It's exciting.
Like, yeah, it definitely is, and like going to the Super Bowl with, again, technically Joe Burrow's first season.
Yeah.
Is crazy.
First full season for sure.
Yeah. JH Sports says last row in the stadium is $6,000.
Oh my gosh.
The NFL definitely likes their money. Like,
yeah.
Like, just put it back
they
down
gotta
to
be
12.
making bank just on
Yeah,
this
definitely. And they're still like, we need more. Let's see. I will tell you Friday night, bro, what color I see the most in LA. All right, sounds good.
Thank you, Rudy. Appreciate that.
Le Savage Gamer says, do you know about the I don't know how to pronounce that, but the something he picked the Rams to win the Super Bowl. I don't know about that. I haven't heard about that.
He's a gamer.
Oh, yeah, I haven't heard about him, but we'll see what ends up happening.
Like the Drake curse, where whatever jersey he was wearing for basketball, the other team would win or something like that.
Yeah,
and he used it to his advantage.
Purposely.
I think the Rams are definitely above curses. They can do whatever they want to do. So
exactly.
We'll see what happens.
It's really up to them and their execution. Let's see. Last time I saw one of my favorite cousins was collecting on football. Bet 12/18/82. There's a story behind it that I can't do here.
Ooh, a little mystery.
Yeah, we like it.
That's crazy.
Let's see. Did you guys know that this is the Rams' fourth Super Bowl since 2000? Only the Patriots with Brady have been to more. I didn't know that. That's crazy. Because obviously they lost that one versus the Patriots. Oh yeah, that does make sense. And then they won versus the Titans on that 1 yard line. Then we lost to the Patriots again in 2018. Then we're here again. So that's crazy.
Isn't this their fifth one?
I'm not 100% sure.
I think this is the Rams' fifth and the Bengals' third, is what I saw. So they're both like, they still haven't really appeared a lot.
And we're making it a lot, but not really winning a lot. Like the Rams only have one Super Bowl win. I think they won.
So crazy.
They won championships before. I think before they counted it a Super Bowl or something like that. So it's like they don't technically count it, but like.
That's lame.
Yeah, and then the Bengals, I don't think they have any Super Bowls, so we'll see. I'm worried about D. Will this game, especially if matched up against Chase. D. Will has underperformed this season compared to last year. I have a feeling the Rams will let him walk. Yeah, I think so too. I'm not really worried about him on Chase as much as I am with him on Higgins. And I think that Chase is going to be mostly guarded. I think Ramsey is going to be on him the most. But like I'm just really worried about Higgins because like the size mismatch and everything.
Yeah.
And like 1-on-1, I don't know. Let's see, great stream. Thank you. I gotta go, but I wish I could say horns up, go Rams. That's right. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah.
Silly fun guy. I appreciate it. It's a cool name.
That's a great name.
Yeah. When the Rams win the Super Bowl, I will technically be their second, but they're first in LA. That'll be fun.
That is crazy to think about.
Your brother's definitely a bandwagon.
Oh, you caught me. You caught me. I liked them this last week.
Yeah, just caught onto the bandwagon. Let's see. I picked Rams versus Titans at the start of the year. I mean, that could have happened. Like, they both got close, so... Yeah. I picked Rams versus Bills. I could have... And I felt bad for the Bills, because they were so close to beating the Chiefs in, like, the overtime...
Yeah, and who's to say what they would have done against the Bengals in the championship round? Who knows? It could have been very easily a Bills and Rams.
Yeah, which would have been really cool too.
Mm-hmm.
I picked Rams versus Chiefs.
Another
that was close. Yeah. Let's see. A fan of a Bengals since he was a kid. Are you calling him a liar?
That's right, Nancy.
That's right, Nancy.
Call him out.
He probably just became a Bengals fan after they beat the Chiefs. After the Bengals beat the Chiefs. He probably just ordered that hat and jersey.
Oh yeah, you caught me, man.
Yeah. Man, I don't know how this guy knows everything. Like, how does he know you? That's crazy.
He probably knows my favorite color too.
Yeah,
honestly. That's wild.
Mighty Swan. He just has like he has a mind of nobody else. Like, how does he know you're a bandwagon?
He is mighty.
Like, yeah,
he's a
that's
swan.
True.
So there you go.
Let's see. I just became a fan after the start of the playoffs. Final question from Peo Time. When you guys watch football, will there be yelling? Probably
at some point. We usually try to keep it pretty like reserved. We're not super into that, but it's hard because we're facing against each other.
So and we feel bad when like we're cheering against, because we know it's like for you it's a good play and stuff like that, but for them it's really bad.
Yeah. And
so like you don't want to rub it in their face by like cheering and stuff like that, but it's hard because they're in the Super Bowl.
I know. We'll see. You might be able to hear it from Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see what happens.
Definitely our dad screamed. I picked the Rams versus Titans before the season started. Another good prediction. Let's see. If you can only sign one next year, Von Miller or OBJ, who would you pick?
Ooh.
Good question. I like them both. I want them to both stay. I'd probably pick OBJ because if we have another injury like Woods or Cup goes down or something, then we have like Van Jefferson or Skoranek behind it. I think OBJ really likes it here. Mm-hmm. And then for our depth at outside linebacker, I think we have like 4 or 5 really good players. And so it's like they're being pushed down right now. And they like I feel like we have more depth at that position. Who's had more time to play. But I really want them both back because they both are doing good.
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett's burner says their jersey just came yesterday. Just joking.
Appreciate the jokes.
Yeah. This game will come down to who wins in the trenches. What do you guys think? Yeah. I think that it could come down to who wins in the trenches also. I don't know. I think, again, for the Rams, obviously protecting Stafford is going to be a huge thing, everything like that. But I think it's more about winning the turnover battle and whoever doesn't turn over the football. And I think, like, for Burrow, again, making him make mistakes, that really demoralizes a team. Mm-hmm. So if we can get interceptions and score on that, that's going to be a big thing. But as long as they can be getting pressure on quarterbacks and on offenses, it's going to make it harder for them to have even time to look around and stuff. So what do you think, though?
Yeah, I think I agree with both of you guys, honestly. Like, pushing, like, the line and collapsing the pocket is going to be huge, and then stopping the run game, obviously. Everything like that. That's going to be huge, but also the turnovers. I don't know how many turnovers have the Rams had in the playoffs. Like, let's just cancel the Bucs game. Say it's like 1 because there was a lot of weird stuff.
Are you talking about like on our side of the ball that we've turned it over? How many we've gotten?
Yeah, like Stafford throws an interception.
So we had one versus the 49ers, I think, because it was that one in the end zone that he was going to cup. The other one then Tart dropped the Pop-Tart.
Yeah, the Pop-Tart dropped
and then
the pig.
Versus. I don't think we turned it over versus the Cardinals either, so I think it's just the 49ers. And, like, obviously, like you said, take out the Bucs game.
Yeah.
We've only turned it over once.
Kind of like 1 or 2. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 or 2.
So, that's not bad, honestly.
No.
And then, I think we didn't turn it over at all. I can't remember. It was either 1 in every game, or we only have 1 or 2 total.
Yeah, because Burrow, he had one versus the Titans, that one that hit the ground, but they still called it a pick. Yeah. Then he had one versus the Chiefs where he's like trying to go to the sideline.
Sneed picked that guy. So honestly, pretty mistakeless football in terms of like the quarterback position. So, like I think if you start making turnovers and start like forcing them to throw the ball, intercept it, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens because not a lot of that has happened.
And I want to give a shout out to Rudy Ramirez.
Rudy!
With the super chat.
Yeah.
Thank you for the $3.
The thumbs up guy.
Yeah, exactly. So it has Odell Beckham's number in there, $3, you know.
I love it.
It's going to be fun. Thank you so much for that. I always appreciate it. You guys definitely don't feel obligated to donate. I just appreciate talking football with you and appreciate Johnny talking football with me too. It's been a lot of fun.
It has.
Whose house? Rams house, that's right. I think we can get both back. We have lots of old players off the books next year. Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, and Brandon Cooks.
Are you guys still paying them right now?
Yeah, I think after the Super Bowl and in this off season, we won't have to pay any more dead cap, and they'll open up $40 million of space, which is going to be insane.
God.
A lot of people aren't talking about that enough.
No.
But like with the money coming off the books, they'll open up. I think it's like $36 to $40 million that we'll have. So
that'll be more helpful.
I know.
Jeez.
And the big media is still talking about like, well, they don't have any cap space or whatever, but they don't really look at that. You think we would have won our Super Bowl against the Pats if we had Cup?
Yeah.
And if we had Stafford instead of Goff, I think we would have.
Agreed.
I think if we just had Cup back. And not if we didn't have Stafford, I don't think we would have won because I think it was more of the game plan. But I think Stafford, like the game plan that the Patriots had versus us was to load a lot of guys in the box and forcing us to have to pass versus them and have like Goff make those plays, or they'd have like a bunch of people at the line and then drop a couple of them to make Goff make a bad decision. And Goff under pressure just isn't very good. And so it was a good plan. I think Stafford could have adjusted more and like. I don't think they would have been that risky to put like 7 or 8 guys at pressuring to leave guys open. So I think that we could have, but obviously we don't know. Jade Sports for real, your brother's a bandwagon. I think he was asking a question because we were making a joke. He isn't a bandwagon. No. He's been 2008, 2009, right?
2009, yep. Mm-hmm.
He watched Carson Palmer and Andy Dalton.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I can definitely speak for him. He's not a bandwagon.
I even have a picture. I could bring it to the next stream. That Literally 2009, Christmas time, holding up a Bengals jersey.
Young Johnny.
Or a shirt, whatever, which one it was.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Young
Good times.
Johnny.
Yeah. Gotta respect him. No, where are you guys from? We're from St. Louis, Missouri. So, obviously we aren't there now. We're in Colorado now, but that's where we were born. Let's see. I'm looking forward at how good the Bengals have been with the turnovers. Yeah, I think there's a lot of different matchups that you can look at. Again, the biggest one being talked about is like the pass rush versus the offensive line. But I think there's a lot of different things you can look at, like the LSU players that are playing in it. You have Chase, Burrow, and Whitworth, obviously, and Odell too. And so that'll be fun. And then the two coaches who coach on the same staff together will be fun and interesting. There's a lot of different things to look at. What do you think is like your favorite one, even if it's not one of the ones I mentioned?
Favorite player or what?
Like favorite storyline or the favorite?
Oh yeah, I was actually listening to like people talking about storylines, and the LSU one really is cool to me.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot, but I also like how like kind of similar Stafford and Burrow are. They're both super tough, play through injuries, everything like that. It's just the battle of the nines, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see how that plays out because they both deserve it in my opinion. Like I'm happy with both of them winning. I'm sad if the Bengals lose, but Matthew Stafford, that's such a good story if he wins. So.
Yeah. I'll definitely feel really good for Stafford. I already feel good with how much he's done.
Agreed.
But like coming like 12 years of no success and being doubted and not even like, to be honest, like before the Rams traded for him, I didn't really watch him that much, and I didn't think he was too good because I just didn't watch the Lions, and I was like, it's not like I didn't think that he was terrible, but I just didn't really watch him.
Yeah.
And so I think it's cool for him if he wins the Super Bowl, like to show everybody first he can win in the big games, and then also in his first year to win a Super Bowl. I know everybody's gonna be like, well, Brady did that with his new team, but like.
But everyone was talking so much like crap about him.
I know.
Especially like midway through the season, they were like, "This is what Stafford this is what
he's turning over the football."
But we knew that because I don't know, it's crazy. The middle of the season, everyone was like going against him. The media is still going against him. I feel like, but like David and I both knew that he would bounce back, and here they are in the Super Bowl. So you know, what do you have to say about that?
I know, right? I'm really happy for him and his family. There's so many players on the Rams that I want them like to win it for. Yeah. Like Donald, he's done so much.
Yeah.
He's been trying to win it for so long. Ramsey would be cool too because he's never won a Super Bowl. He's never even been to one before. And
That's
then
crazy. This is his first one.
Because he was on the Jaguars. He got really close in the championship game versus the Patriots, but then they won. And then obviously for Whitworth to get one versus his former team would be cool. Yeah. Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford for like all the doubters. I know.
Too, you know.
They're not all cocky too. Yeah. So, and OBJ really wants to win.
I love OBJ. I hope he gets one.
Let's see. Let's see. Do you guys know how much cap room the Rams will have next year? Don't the Rams finally lose Goff's and Gurley's dead money? Yeah, I don't know exactly the number, but I know like I was talking about we have like 36 to 40 million that's going to be freed up for us because we won't have to be paying them anymore. The Rams turned the ball over 4 times against the Bucks. Yeah, we weren't counting against the Bucks because that was a lot of like the fluke ones.
The snap like over the head.
Yeah, then the 3 fumbles that we had is like Cup fumbled, Akers fumbled twice. So
and Cup never fumbled. So it was. We understand what you're saying, but it was a weird game. So we just took that one out. Let's see. I did not know Bengals fans existed. We actually saw some today. Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
We were at the mall today, and we actually saw some, and we're in Colorado, and we were like, where did you guys come from?
Yeah. Like, some of them I was questioning, but others seemed like they were actually fans. Yeah. So there's this guy at Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
I was standing across looking at the menu. He's like, who dey? Or like whatever. Yeah. And he was like, you a Bengals fan? It was kind of funny.
Yeah, who knew that Bengals fans existed? I've only known one like my whole life.
Girl?
Yeah,
like, who dey?
I know, it's crazy.
What's going on?
Where are they all coming from? Let's see. First time a team turns over the ball 4 times and wins in playoff history. Yeah, that's crazy.
There you go.
And a lot of people are like, well, you know, the Bucs shouldn't have blitzed at the end because like that just gave it up for the Rams, or that's easy because they gave it to the Rams. But it's like we gave it to the Bucs. Yeah. We like fumbled it 4 times for you and like turned it over 4 times. So.
And Tom Brady didn't do anything until the second half. So it's like he could have, if he wanted to win, or if he could win, he would have, but he couldn't. So.
I'm complaining about his bloody lip.
That was actually crazy. Yeah, it was funny to watch.
At the end of the day, both of you guys are winners, both teams, to make the Super Bowl and shocking the world.
Let's go.
It's going to be a fun one. Let's see. Against the Pats, they needed to go heavy. Yeah.
Yo,
Dang, Johnny's a real one.
Yeah, let's go, baby. JH, that's my initials, Johnny Hamlin.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
Let's
Appreciate it, man.
Johnny Hamlin Sports.
Yeah.
Let's see. Highlight Workshop says Mahomes and the Chiefs are cocky. Yeah, they are. Especially Kelsey and Mahomes, like, doing their shimmy thing.
Man, that's why it's so fun to beat them because they're honestly really talented.
Yeah.
A lot of them are. But they're so annoying because they are arrogant and cocky and stuff like that. That's why I like the Bills a lot better. So much like star power. Josh Allen is just so likable.
Yeah.
So I agree.
Let's see. Do you think Jacob Harris would have been a star player if he didn't get hurt? I don't really know because we have a lot of weapons on our offense. I think that he could have made some big plays, but I think in his first year, I wouldn't have expected a ton from him. I know they liked him a lot, but they gave him a lot of time in the preseason, and he didn't do a ton. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting in his second year, but I don't really think he would have made Jacob Harris the tight end. They drafted him this year, and they thought that he could have been a player who was like a tight end wide receiver mix, and they thought that he was a lot like Darren Waller. So it's gonna be interesting to see. But I think he tore his ACL or something like that, and he was out for the season early on. So this one's for Donald. That's right.
Yeah.
Do you guys think of young Bengals players that are coming into the big game a little overconfident or arrogant?
Jamar Chase.
Chase.
It's just I get nervous when people get cocky and they start talking a lot, especially when they're not really fighting, but they're kind of having some banter back and forth between the defenders and stuff.
Yeah.
And I always worry that that's going to come down and hurt them. I'm not saying it's going to happen with Jamar, but I'm saying if there's anybody, I could see definitely Jamar coming off a little bit strong,
Or Eli Apple, who knows?
Eli Apple, man, he's not really young.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, Eli Apple chirps a lot too.
Yeah.
So.
JH Sports says, "Yes, sir. Johnny joined the JH gang."
That's right.
That's right. Who do you think will be the X Factor first? I don't really know, if he's saying between two players or between teams or
I think he's just saying on each team who will make an impact first. I guess I don't know. If you could elaborate, we'd like to answer the question. But
it's definitely a cool question. We just want to know more what you mean. Rams fans since 1965, Joe Burrow scares the bleep out of me. It's an intuition thing. Be proud of Johnny, or be proud Johnny. Trolls are a waste of time.
Oh,
exactly.
Nancy's a real one.
Yeah,
wow.
She is. And she's right. Joe Burrow scares me too.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, again, they think we're gonna blow them out or it's an easy matchup, but
yeah,
I don't want them getting too cocky and everything. Burrow is a stud.
Yeah, I'm excited. It'll be a good game, I think.
Let's see. Yeah. As long as the Rams make no mistakes, it's an easy win. I don't think it's going to be an easy win, but I think it's
a huge factor, though, mistakes. If you play mistakeless football, then I feel like for anybody it's an easy win. So
yeah,
that's a good call.
Who do you think will be the Rams' X factor in the Super Bowl? Could be tight end Blanton. That's a good one. I think Blanton could be a guy who's an underrated star that plays well, or Jefferson. I think Van Jefferson could be. As far as just X factors in general, it's
tough.
Yeah, it could be Cup. Oh, that's the problem. I know that there's a lot of them, but it's hard to pick one. Yeah. I'd probably just say Von Miller and Donald, or just Cooper Kupp, because I don't know, he's just crazy.
Yeah.
Who's gonna win, Ramsey or Chase?
It's
hard to predict, but
it's really hard because I really want to give the edge to Ramsey because he's a veteran. I think he could probably get in Chase's head because he literally plays almost exactly the same as Chase. They both have those. They're just both really solid.
Yeah.
They both talk a lot. They both, I don't know, they're both really physical. I don't know. I almost feel like Chase is going to break one out, but I feel like Ramsey's going to contain him really well. So I really don't know.
For me, I think I could see Chase probably getting 40 to 50 yards maybe. But I feel like Ramsey in his Super Bowl, and he's never played in one, he's going to want to play his best game.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how he was mad that he dropped the interceptions last game because he was I just feel bad for letting my team down and everything. And he was I'm going to bring my A game for the Super Bowl. So it's going to be interesting to watch. And I really don't think Ramsey's going to be on him the whole time. So I think Chase is going to have his plays. But in my opinion, I think that Jalen Ramsey will win. Yeah. Let's see it. Bengals brother, what part of the Bengals defense concerns you the most?
That's a really good question. I think the corners have been stepping up lately, and the safeties have been doing a pretty good job. I would say probably just like our defensive front is really scary. Trey Hendrickson is really good, and Hubbard's really good. But besides that, like, and we have people out on injuries right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing I've been seeing constantly, and this was even at the beginning of the year, we are not getting to the quarterback nearly fast enough, and that was like evident in the Chiefs game. Obviously, the second half we adjusted to only rush 3, so that was gonna be more of a thing. But like every game, I'm like, get to him. And it's like Burrow has no time on offense, and on the other end of it, the other quarterback has all the time in the world. So that part's really scary to me. I don't like that at all. I think they need to incorporate either more blitzes, draft some better people, or just I don't know, do something because I think it's a really weak point in our defense.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let's see. Wearing my staff daddy jersey right now. Too excited, can't wait for the game. I love it. Yeah, we like to break our jerseys out on game days so they don't get messed up. But
I had to get it for the live though.
Yeah, exactly. I'm having trouble like ever since December finding a jersey to buy because I have a Robert Woods one obviously, but I've really been wanting to get a Jalen Ramsey one or a Stafford or a Cup. Yeah. Those are like my top 3 that I really want to get. But it's like the shop has been sold out ever since December. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you guys or you think that he will be back? I don't really expect him to be back. Obviously, he avoided a major injury. I think he avoided the injury that Uzama has actually. But I don't really think he's going to play this game, but I'm not 100% sure. I think they have him as doubtful, so. Burrow has the factor, or the X factor, what I thought Mayfield would vex.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think everyone did, and I still feel like Mayfield has something in him, but I definitely agree with that. Like, Burrow is something super special. He's really, like, I don't know. I really love watching players on a team, like in Odell's, prime days in New York. I loved him, and I still follow him, so I'm super happy he's on the Rams now. So I really fall in love with players. And, man, Burrow is just, like, absolutely crazy. I haven't seen anything even close to this on the Bengals. Like, we've had some good quarterbacks, some okay ones, but I love him a lot. He definitely does have the it factor. I agree.
Do you guys think that experience will play a major factor in this game? I think it will. I think it's really cool. Like, the Rams don't have actually a ton of their players that they had from their Super Bowl run because they've made so many moves and, like, so many players have moved on. But I think having guys like Von Miller, he's been in, I think, 2 Super Bowls, actually. And then you have Aaron Donald, he was in a Super Bowl already. McVay, like, coaching in a Super Bowl, I think, is huge because he knows, everything about that. And obviously, Zach Taylor was on that staff when they went to the Super Bowl, too. But I think experience could play a huge factor into this game. And, like, a lot of the guys that we have one of the youngest rosters in the NFL, but we also have a lot of experienced guys and veterans, so it's going to be interesting. Like, even Eric Weddle, like, that's crazy, too.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, though? Do you think it's going to play a big part, like a major factor?
I think so a lot. It's really weird because people don't really, like, think about that as much of a thing because they're in the NFL, they're made for this moment, so it doesn't really matter, But no, I think it really does, like, if you've seen it before, if you've known what the crowd reacts like and all these things, like it's just that extra thing that's gonna help you out. So
yeah, and like the Rams being able to practice where they always practice, having the same locker room and stuff.
It's just gonna feel more like a regular game, which is gonna help them out a lot too, which is really cool.
It'll be interesting. Do you think Sebastian Joseph Day will start? I don't know. He has a weird injury, but there was a video that they uploaded of him practicing and like doing the different workouts. So I think there's actually a good chance because he was activated off of the injured reserve, I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I think he has a chance. He was a beast at stopping the run. Yeah, he was. Let's see. As a Bengals fan, would you still consider it a W if the Bengals lose since Big Whit will get a ring? Whitworth.
I think. Well, I don't know. It's still gonna hurt to like come that close, and lose. But I think, like, not necessarily just for Whitworth, but I think for like all the people on the Rams, like we talked about earlier, like all of them are really likable. A lot of them have been there for a while, and just like I feel like everyone deserves it. Whichever team wins, like both teams really do deserve it. So honestly, like it's gonna hurt if we lose, but it's it's like well deserved,
Yeah. Cam Akers is gonna have a game. I have a feeling he's gonna have a good game. I just hope that McVay doesn't get really happy and like where he wants to. Sometimes he just gets really pass happy, which is what I'm worried about. But I think Stafford's gonna have a little bit more time to work with, which, because like the Bengals, they have their plays where they're getting after it. But I feel like compared to like the 49ers, who can rush a bunch of players or only rush like 4 players and get a lot of pressure, I think Stafford could have more time. I just hope that he doesn't get pass happy.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too, is BJ Hill is back for us too, and he
made that interception.
He made the interception against Mahomes, and BJ Hill was out for a while, and I don't know if he's gonna play the whole game, but he's gonna be more snaps than he was last game. So hopefully that'll help us. But we'll see what happens.
Sorry to your brother, but man, I could already see Aaron Donald sacking Joe Cool.
No, I could too.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Rams turn the ball over in Tampa Bay, therefore they lose in the Super Bowl per Ruiz. Your guys' family as a whole, or you are, what does it say?
Your guys' family, it's on whose side?
I think he's asking like whose side is our family taking.
As
far as it.
Yeah.
I don't think that our family other than us are taking sides. I think they just want like a good game and everything like that.
Yeah.
We'll see. I haven't really asked them yet, but.
And they probably wouldn't tell us anyway. They'd be like, I don't know.
No, I want both of them.
Not taking sides.
Dad will just get into it. Come on.
Dad's probably going for the Rams.
Yeah.
But, who knows?
Let's see. Where did you get that Joe Shiesty jersey?
Oh, I got this on the NFL store. It had it shipped to me. Funny story, I got the wrong size. And it actually took, from me ordering the first one to me getting this one right now, it took probably like a month or like a month and a half.
Come on, NFL.
And it was, oh man, and I was like, is it even going to be here in time for the playoffs and everything like that? So I don't get jerseys because I'm pretty practical with my money, and I think that's a lot of money for a shirt. But again, Joe Burrow, I love him so much that I had to get it. Like, I love that guy.
And it's crazy, we both like didn't have jerseys for the longest time.
Yeah.
And so I got one like that Robert was one for Christmas, and then he got his Burrow one pretty shortly after Christmas.
Yep.
And they're definitely really fun to wear. And then we have these like footballs that we have, like I don't know if you guys have seen like the autographed footballs that are white and they have the logo on it.
Yeah.
We got that. Ever since I got that Rams football for my birthday, the Rams have been like 7-1, and it's crazy.
It's working its powers.
Yeah, we love to hold the Bengals and the Rams footballs during the game and stuff like that, because obviously it doesn't actually do anything, but it's just like it's
takes
funny.
The stress away. I feel like if you're like holding something
like
and like it's stressed, you know,
or like I don't know.
It helps.
It's fun though. Let's see. The handshake at the end of the game will be the friendliest of all time.
Yeah,
definitely.
Probably.
It won't be a Tom Brady where he's avoiding it or whatever. Robert says, "What's up with Henderson?" I think he's supposed to be back. I forgot what injury he even had because he's been out for a while. But I hope to see Akers and Michelle more than Henderson, because like I don't know. I feel like Henderson doesn't bring a lot of agility or anything. He doesn't really bring much. He just kind of like runs into players and falls over. Like if he has a hole, he can do pretty well. Kind of like Mixon.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like he creates a lot. So.
Yeah.
I don't know, but guys, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you for joining me, Johnny. It's been a lot of fun too. I appreciate you guys for not just attacking him for being out here
me too.
and everything.
Thank you.
It's been a lot of fun. Thank you, Rudy Ramirez, for that super chat too. I appreciate you and everybody who showed up to ask questions and everything. But as for us, that's gonna be it. I appreciate you guys and have a good night.
Bye.
See ya.